We're back. Ready?
We're back in this bitch.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right? 2 weeks.
I think so. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks since I haven't uploaded. All right.
It's a good hiatus.
Yep. Let's go. We're back.
Right.
We're back. We're back in business, baby.
All
Ready?
right. 3,
2,
1. Greetings, travelers. I'm Amelia.
I'm Gabby.
Welcome to the Lodge. Today, I'll be talking about the murder of Adam Walsh.
Woo! Okay. I'm ready for this.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
comfortable. I love this bed.
Comfortable.
Yes.
I know. I got my Totoro t-shirt on.
I got my Tommy Hilfiger t-shirt.
That's really cute.
It's so comfortable.
Let me feel it. Yes.
It's breathable.
Yes, I like it.
I mean, look at hella stylish.
We
All right.
stylin'.
I know, right?
Our story takes place in Hollywood, Florida,
Mm.
and the story follows Adam John Walsh. He was born on November 14th, 1974, and he lived with his mom, Reve Walsh, and his dad, John Walsh. So Adam was described as a happy, loving, and, sometimes a shy boy. And he loved to play baseball and go on boat rides with his dad, just like any normal kid. But on July 27th, 1981, Adam and his mom, Reve, went shopping at a Sears department store. Reve was searching for a lamp and let Adam go play video games with some other boys in another section. But when Reve came back, Adam and the other boys were gone. So, I mean, what is your first instinct as a mom?
Kidnapped. Someone took my bubbles.
I think that too. Takes me back to when my mom left me in the McDonald's gas bathroom. So, of course, Reve started to panic. And so, immediately she started searching for Adam. But she was also informed by an employee that they had kicked the boys out of the store for causing a ruckus. Like, they were fighting over a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And so Adam, being, the small boy, followed the boys out to the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Reve went outside to look for Adam, but he was nowhere to be seen.
Oh my god.
I would be so terrified.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be like, excuse
Where are
me?
my kids?
Yeah, exactly what you do.
Reve called the police and reported Adam as missing. A search party was sent out shortly after all this happened, but no traces could be found of Adam. And during this time, there wasn't an official registry for missing children.
Mhm.
Amber Alert wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And so it was just not really normal for kids to just go missing.
Mm-hmm.
On August 10th, 1981, a little more than 100 miles from Hollywood, 2 fishermen discovered a severed head
Oh my
in a
god.
drainage canal in Vero Beach.
No.
This head unfortunately belonged to 6-year-old Adam Walsh.
Could you imagine discovering that?
That is so
I'd be
traumatizing. Oh my god.
Oh, I don't like that at
It's-
all.
oh
It's
my
so
God.
sad.
And so, of course, news of his death spread like wildfire. Parents all over America were so frightened, they were scrambling to keep their kids within arm's reach. I would too. That is
Mhm.
so scary. Adam's body could not be located by law enforcement, so they just really had no leads whatsoever. And this just left Adam's parents and his family just completely traumatized and just filled with grief and anger.
Mhm.
I would be filled
I'd
with
be
rage.
pissed. I'd get hit
I would
in the head
want
and,
this man to just
dead.
die.
I'd do by my own hand. I'd get them to bring him to me, and then I would cut him up in little pieces, starting from his legs going up.
Making sushi.
Make him suffer. I'd give him little paper cuts and put
Sashimi.
lemon all over it.
Oh my god. And sprinkle a little bit of salt in there. So because they had no leads, this case was closed off for about 2 years until October 21st, 1983, when a man named Otis Elwood Toole confessed to the murder of Adam Walsh. I'm going to get into a little bit of background information about him. So,
Alright.
Otis Toole was born March 5th, 1947, in Jacksonville, Florida. He was raised by his single mom who had heavily abused him as a kid. When Otis was 14, he was picked up by a traveling salesman and forced to have sex. But get this, girl. After this happened, Otis had ran the man over with his own car that was used to seduce minors.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
I don't want to say props to him because he's a horrible person.
But at that point in life, props to him.
Yeah, props to him.
I would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Otis dropped out of school after being proclaimed developmentally disabled. In the 15 years following this, Otis continued to commit many murders. But it wasn't until 1976 when Otis met a man named Henry Lee Lucas. They soon became lovers and partners in crime, convicted of committing over 108 murders and even practicing cannibalism.
Oh.
Yeah. Otis was serving time in the Rayford, Florida prison during his confession. He was serving 300 years.
He deserves more.
Yeah. But he was on death row.
Mm-hmm.
So, Otis originally confessed to being accomplice with Henry Lucas. Then he later confessed to committing the murder alone. And then, finally, he denied his testimony altogether. So, can you imagine? That's just like, why would you ever do that? It's
mental illness.
Can you imagine being a parent and him confessing and then taking it back?
Like, oh, actually, JK.
I did it, but not really. That's
just
so
prank,
sad. Just a prank, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. So
I'd slap the crap out of him. Stop with
I
your
would.
childish foolery. Like, stop with
throw
that
my ninja
tomfoolery.
star across the courtroom.
I'm telling you, I would get a hitman,
Mm-hmm.
kidnap them from jail, and bring it back here, and I'll torture the hell out of them. I'm telling you.
Taken too. I saw this post where it was like this woman, she got arrested because she came into an elementary school and confronted her kids' bullies.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's me as a mom.
No, I wouldn't. I'd tell my kid, son or girl, a daughter, I'd be like, if they hit you, hit back, but 10 times harder.
Facts. I feel like I'd be like, solve it with words.
And I wouldn't.
But really, just kill them with scissors.
Yeah.
I'll give you. I'll
That thing is if
slip
they,
you some safety scissors.
That thing where it's like, no, figure it out, you know.
You gotta do it with science, though. Make their brain hurt. We got a little bit off topic, so here we go. This is starting getting the heavy stuff.
All right.
So, in Otis's confession, he told law enforcement that he had lured Adam towards his car with candy and toys, and then grabbed Adam and proceeded to drive away. Otis's plan was to drive back home to Jacksonville, but along the way, Adam started crying. And, for whatever reason, this threw Otis into, a fit of rage. Otis then beat Adam until he was unconscious. Otis then pulled over on the side of the road and raped Adam for 2 hours.
Oh my gosh, no.
Otis strangled Adam with a seatbelt and severed his head with a machete. I know. I was reading this.
I don't like that at all.
This case. It was heartbreaking. He's only 6 years old.
Oh my god.
That is so traumatizing.
No, actually, that's so. Oh. This is why I like psychology, because I like reading. How could someone be so messed up in the head to do that?
I know, and it's like, all right, he's unconscious. You can stop now. I mean, he stopped crying. You don't have to go any further. But no, that's how fucked he is in the mind.
And then cut off their head.
I know. Oh my god.
I hate that so much.
Adam's cause of death was asphyxiation from being strangled from the seatbelt. But you know what makes me so mad is that Otis kept Adam's remains in his car for 2 weeks until the stench of his decomposing body reminded him to discard it. He forgot about a little boy that he murdered. and he was keeping his body in his car.
How the fuck do you do that?
How do you
do that? How do you forget you did that? Like, what?
I know.
It's like, ooh, little, like, thing switched off.
I mean,
my
like,
head.
I know he's, like, developmentally challenged, but, like, I feel like any person that's, like...
I think it's, like, to call, like, especially if you're, like, a psychopath. Like, if you have tendencies like that, like, to you, that's, like, it's, like, honestly kind of like a fetish thing. You're not going to forget it. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, like, kept photos of all his victims. Because, you know, they don't want to forget that kind of stuff. So I don't think... Because you killing someone and doing that is supposed to, like, derive pleasure to you. So when you do something like that, you don't tend to forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
It could either be, like, you know when, like, you get, like, a fit of rage and you just forget everything, and you're so one-track mind, and just, like, don't remember anything. It's kind of like maybe that, like, turned in his head and
maybe
he
was just so mad at himself for I don't think he was mad. He killed 108... Oh, my God. That's, like, genocide. That is horrid. This is a horror story.
That's, like,
literally.
A fifth of our graduating class.
I know. How many
There's
kids?
500, I think.
500? My class is huge. If you don't know, me and Gabby are in 2 different grades.
Yeah. I'm going to be a senior.
I'm going to be a sophomore.
Because what's it called? My leg be hurting, like, really badly.
Your legs are smooth.
Thanks. I try.
You moisturize?
No.
Continuing with Otis's confession, he told law enforcement presumably false locations of where he discarded Adam's remains. Adam's body has still never been discovered.
At this point, you can't.
Yeah, I feel like it's like past decomposition.
Yeah.
But Otis Toole died in his cell September 15th, 1996 due to cirrhosis.
Serves worse. I don't like that. I mean, how could someone do that?
I know. It is sickening.
It is.
It is so sickening.
'Cause, like, what's it called? I don't know. That is why, like, I love reading so much about psychology.
Yeah.
Because, like, trying to figure out what they're thinking in their minds at the time.
It's like, what happened to them that made them think this way?
Yeah.
Maybe it was the rush from when he killed his rapist, you know? Maybe he just had to keep on going because that's what he felt was right.
I feel like, what's it called? There's, like, a thing when, like, you do something you're not supposed to. You kind of get, like, that little adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Like, you know when, like, okay, let's say your parents say, don't go do this, but you go and do it anyways. You're just like, oh, like, this is fun. Like, I like this. Like, in the back of your mind, you're, like, a tiny bit worried. But, like, the adrenaline of, like, doing something you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Could be, like, oh, like, I like this a lot.
It's, like, this is kind of, like, has been called to start the age of helicopter parenting. Because, you know, it's like, parents are like, stranger danger, don't talk to people you don't know. And it's like, this is one of the reasons why.
That's because, what's it called, like, my parents were telling me, like, when their age, like, their parents did not care. Like, my dad would literally, like, walk on the highway to get to, like, a comic book store to go buy some comic books.
Yeah.
And he would walk back onto the highway to go back to his house. And it's like, back then, like, parents didn't care as long as you got home, right? And if you didn't get home on time, it's like, oh, well, they'll be back soon. So they didn't really care until now. We're really, like, you know, like, straight. Because, I mean, I think as we forget, especially living in the bubble we live in, is that there's dangers out there, and that not everything is, like, super, like, oops, let's keep our door open in our neighborhood, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, like, when my mom was growing up, like, she kept her door open to, like, let the air in, and, like, that was normal. And, you know, like, her neighbors would stop by and, like, bring cake and things, like, food. But, like, that, now, I don't see anyone leaving their door open.
No.
Like, I don't know a single person that does
like,
that.
The max thing we do is garage.
Like, every night, I, like, make sure that the doors are locked. Because I think about this stuff, and I'm, like, terrified.
And you're just like, oh, let me make sure, like, none of this is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're privileged enough to live in a neighborhood that, like, it's very unlikely for this stuff to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like...
You can never be sure. Like,
cause there's
Adam's parents weren't sure because I wrote down that law enforcement discovered through further investigation that Otis had lied about so many murders. So, I mean, like, they have so many, reports, like, evidence that points to Otis, and, like, his parents were so sure that it was Otis. And a lot of people were, because he confessed to them, but you can never be so sure. Like, some of the evidence that they found was actually used to testify against Jeffrey Dahmer.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Damn.
I know. That was freaking crazy. But, I mean, like, through all this, I guess you kind of have to keep moving on.
I think you can't live your life in fear, but you just gotta remember, like,
yeah,
there's precautions, but as long as you, like, understand, like, especially, like, for us being women, there's just things we couldn't do.
Yeah.
Which, like, is shitty, but at the same time, it's understandable. That's, like, my
like,
thing.
it's kind of like how we have to take extra precautions to, like, protect ourselves. And it's kind of like that.
It's like,
I don't know.
You can't wear certain things, but at the same time...
Yeah, exactly. It's like getting sent to the principal's office for, like, showing your shoulders.
If you teach people to not sexualize stuff...
Exactly, it will happen way less.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever asking for it, because no one's asking for it. No one's ever asking for it.
And it's like, it's not your fault that it happened either. Because, I mean, like... Adam wasn't asking for it. He was a normal boy. Yeah. I mean, like, it's not your fault.
No, it's
what goes on in the other person's head.
I think it's like, yes, you might think, you might sexualize it, but you just don't act on it. If someone wears provocative clothing, you might be thinking in your head, like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I think it's, like, the act of actually going to them and, like, trying to push yourself on them, that's not okay.
Yeah, and if they say no, don't get mad.
No is no, no matter what.
Yeah, no means no, guys.
So, like, I guess, like, in a way, like, fucked up but true. It was, like, a girl doesn't want you to force yourself on them unless they want you to force themselves on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, when you read about, like, the Ted Bundy trials, you know how much of a monster he was, but there were still girls that were like, I would want him to do that to me.
Yeah.
And that is just so...
It's weird.
It is very weird, and that's why psychology is cool.
Yeah,
but you know what's not cool?
Selective.
Rape. Rape's not cool. I wish they would talk more about this in school, because, like, all they really did was, like, okay, guys, no means no. But they did play the tea video. It was, like, if you don't want tea, don't give them tea. If they're unconscious, don't give them tea.
I feel like there's also, like, those, like, dumb and mature kids that still don't understand that.
Yeah, they think it's stupid. Like, they joke about it. It's not a fucking joke. Like, I don't...
And I think for them is because they don't think that since they know they wouldn't
They
ever
don't
do
understand the sheer terror. They don't understand the sheer terror until they have a daughter. And they'll do everything in their power to keep that daughter close because...
Like, yeah, I feel like it's like...
It's like you don't know how bad it is until you're the one that has to protect her.
Yeah.
I feel for these girls because it's just like they think that it's so easy to tell someone. They're like, oh, why don't you just tell someone?
But then people won't believe you. There's
people that especially like some law enforcement. They're like, oh my god, it is so bad. I think your first instinct should be like, trust the girl.
Yeah, like, and if you lie about it, like, I hope you die. Because, like, that's not something to, like, lie about.
No, that's almost just as bad as joking about it. And I just, like, I feel so bad for the Walshes, having to hear this testimony and hear that their son was raped, asphyxiated by a seatbelt, and decapitated.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a thing where it's, like...
It's how do you live with knowing that happened?
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially as a parent. Like, knowing all this stuff, it's, like... like, for me, I would want to kill them. Like, honestly, like, that would be my first thing. It's like...
He got that, though.
Yeah, he did.
He got what he deserved, because he died in his jail cell.
Yeah, but I mean, like, especially, like, for me, like, I'm the kind of person, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm, like, no mercy, so if he did something like that, like, you're dead. Like, dead.
But John Walsh did end up moving on with his wife, and they had a couple other kids later in their life. But... they made a huge impact on the rest of history, and so John Walsh founded the National Center for Missing Children and Exploited Children, and it was also co-founded by his wife. He also helped expand the use of the Amber Alert, and so that was a really big thing because sometimes when you get, like, a notification that a child went missing,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think much of it, but, like, you really should.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, it's always in the back of my head, like, okay, I need to, like,
Mm-hmm.
look out.
When we go to Walmart and you see all the missing kids, I look at all of them. When we're, like, checking out, I just look at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, even if, like, I might not see them, like, if I see that kid walking and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember it,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can, like, help. Because
Mm-hmm.
who knows?
Yeah. Like, back in the day, there wasn't, like, you know, wasn't normal to go missing. So, of course, there
Mhm.
weren't any, like, photos. But now, you walk into Arby's and there'll be, like, a child is missing, you
Mhm.
know? And it's, like, that kind of thing. And it's, like,
Which
this
is
could
sad to
happen
see.
to me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's just, like, it's that much scarier.
All right.
Well, that one,
This is a pretty, like, deep topic.
yeah, that was pretty heavy.
This was a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even information. The story was, like, kind of semi-short.
Yeah, it was,
Commentary.
yeah, most of it I would think was commentary. I hope you enjoyed this episode,
Yeah, I
though.
hope you did. I mean, hope you listen to us talk about stuff.
Yeah.
It's still on. Imagine this not being on.
Oh my god.
All right.
Well, if you liked this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
We come back almost every
Every Sunday.
at 8 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to fact check us in the comments.
Mhm.
Or, you know, if you really have anything you want to say,
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid.
To
We'll be
either-
here. We'll listen.
Mhm. Either email us, DM us, comment, you know.
Yeah.
Please make sure to send this to people. Try to get our channel to, you know, become more out there. And maybe soon we might be going to other platforms, not just YouTube.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for watching. Deuces.
Bye.